Jim Carrey is finally revealing Hollywood's darkest secrets and how pedophiles are working with Diddy to abuse minors. Steve Harvey, Jay-Z, J-Lo, and every major celebrity is involved with Diddy, and they're all being exposed now.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
Steve Harvey also has a very inappropriate relationship with the diddler. And the truth is, a lot of these older men push their daughters to hook up with their celebrity friends so that they can keep the favor machine going. How do you share with your daughter, you know? Like, they share that experience now? This nigga's wild. You heard about what he did in the Macy's room to the Echo clothing guy? Like, Diddy's an animal. Who would introduce their daughter to that? Why is not nobody looking at Steve Harvey sideways, G? You let your daughter date the diddler?
Pedophiles like Diddy, R. Kelly, and Jeffrey Epstein have been abusing minors in Hollywood and the music industry for years. And all of this has been possible because every celebrity in the industry allows it to happen. Diddy is connected to some of the biggest names in the industry, and as Diddy goes down, all these people are going down with him. Steve Harvey, Jay-Z, and Usher all made their millions by being connected to Diddy's sex trafficking ring, but now they're all being exposed.
But going back to Cardello Smith's filing, his notice says that Jennifer Lynn Lopez, a.k.a. J-Lo, a.k.a. Jenny from the Block, quote, will be called as a material witness and expert to Sean Combs' viewing, possession, and distribution of his sexual assault upon the plaintiff in 1997 and the orders of defendant Sean Combs forcing Jennifer Lopez to remain silent about the videotaped sexual assault of plaintiff by defendant. Plaintiff states that the material witness Jennifer Lynn Lopez, also known as J-Lo and Jenny from the Block, was engaged in a relationship with the defendant Sean Combs during 1999 and 2001, and that the sexual assault of the plaintiff was recorded, distributed, and held by the defendant at his New York residence and recording studio. And during the relationship with Jennifer Lopez, she was made privy to this video that was taken by Sean Combs and his employee Kirk Burrows. She, J-Lo, has known this video existed and was in existence and took no action to make it known to anyone in law enforcement, and that she was even questioned by New York Police Detective Derek Palmer about this matter, and that the report will show that her answers to this tape was and still remains a resounding yes to its existence. And again, Cardello Smith writes that he wants to call Officer Derek Palmer as a witness because he says Palmer is the one who questioned Lopez and believes that he will have testimony that could help his case. Now, as I mentioned, Diddy's legal team has called for this entire case to be thrown out. Cardello Smith has filed a massive response to that request that totaled more than 200 pages. Probably half of it was just straight up copies of case law that seems to support his arguments, word for word. It's something out of like a legal textbook. There's so much to slog through, but I kind of want to give you some of the highlights. So first, in addition to the claims of rape and a cover-up, Cardello Smith also claims and alleges that Combs was violent towards his loved ones. At times, Cardello Smith addresses alleged threats against his family. Other times, he says Combs actually caused serious injuries to his brother. His response reads, defendant used threats of murder to force the plaintiff to not bring the case to any court of law enforcement until the homes of the defendant were raided by Homeland Security, that the plaintiff knew it was a safe time to bring the case, and that is why we are here at this juncture. And Cardello Smith argued that fear for his own safety and the safety of his family is one of the main reasons that he waited so long to report the alleged rape, and says that that reason alone should override any issue with the statute of limitations, that these claims might otherwise be time barred. And he also argues that while he's been in prison, fellow inmates and prison guards have threatened him on behalf of Sean Combs.
Denzel Washington has been trying to tell everyone about Diddy for years. Back in 2003, Denzel Washington stormed out of a Diddy party with his wife and said that Diddy didn't respect anyone. Since then, Denzel has avoided Diddy and also told other black actors to avoid being alone with Diddy.
A new exclusive report in Us Weekly reveals actor Denzel Washington had a heated confrontation with rapper Sean Diddy Combs at an all-night party back in 2003. Washington reportedly abruptly left with his wife telling Diddy, quote, "You don't respect anyone." This incident has resurfaced amidst Combs' current legal troubles. He faces charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs has pleaded not guilty.
It's so funny because Denzel always told me, we'd be at the parties, he said, you leave 30 minutes for the devil get there. Okay? And when he would say that, I will always remember that Denzel would leave the parties early. And I follow Denzel out. I'm out. You see what I'm saying? Because when you leave 30 minutes for the devil get there, it ain't nothing wrong with going to the parties. Even Christ party with the sinners, you know what I mean? But when you leave 30 minutes for the devil get there, you know, you able to have your integrity. I meant off screen. It's not what you do on screen, what you do off screen is more important. You know, I've never, ever had to sell my body sexually for any roles. God cover me. And never have any studio head came on to me sexually or you know, I know that happens in the industry. Never had that happen to me. When I got the audition for my films, I read, I prayed, I fasted.
Steve Harvey is one of the celebrities who has allegedly been brought up in connection to Diddy. Old footage of Diddy allegedly dating Steve Harvey's stepdaughter Lori Harvey when she was 22 has also come forward. Disgusting rumors that Steve Harvey gave Diddy access to his daughter are coming out. And while they are extremely shocking, it is important to remember that in Hollywood, things like these are common.
Y'all, look who it is on the Steve Harvey show. Ooh! Y'all know each other like that? Mr. Snoop Dogg, did you hear what's going on right now? This is East Coast, West Coast, Freako. House being raided. Look at that. Steve tried to warn you. It's not gonna end well. P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Love, Sean Combs, Sean Diddy Combs, Cocoa Puff, anything, whatever.
TMZ Family Therapy presents Diddy Issues, starring Daddy Diddy, Diddy's son, and Daddy Diddy's lady.
Didn't Diddy's son date her?
Yes! That cannot be true.
Sounds like someone's got Diddy issues. And by someone, we mean him, because they actually look pretty happy.
Diddy and Lori Harvey, they're heating things up in Italy. Notice her arm is on the back of his chair.
Shocking! For some reason. But yes, Diddy's now getting super cozy with Steve Harvey's daughter, who Diddy's son, Justin Combs, used to hang out with.
I don't think that her and Justin were even that serious. They were just out in the club a couple times.
I think it's more interesting that Steve Harvey's there.
Survey says the number one most interesting thing about this photo is
Diddy and his son are Eskimo brothers.
And to make it more interesting,
So his son on this trip?
They were there. They're not in these pictures, but I think they left.
He is dating his son's ex-girlfriend when his son was there as well. But if his son's moved on, why not?
Puff has an unbelievably close relationship with all of his sons. I don't think it's something that he would do if it was a big, huge deal.
You like who you like. The exception to I like who I like is accept my son's exes.
so congrats, you two look really happy.
Another billionaire to be caught in the crossfire is Jay-Z. On the 10th of December 2024, a lawsuit was filed against Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z for alleged sexual abuse of a 13-year-old minor. The victim, who claims that Diddy and Jay-Z raped her at an after-party following the MTV Video Music Awards in New York City, is prepared to come forward and testify against them. Allegedly, several celebrities present at the party saw what Jay-Z and Diddy were doing, but they only stood around and laughed. Now Jay-Z's legal team has been caught lying and bribing witnesses.
While maintaining he'd let the matter settle itself in court. But now in a new lawsuit, a Texas man is claiming Jay-Z's lawyers are bribing people to sue Busby and his law firm. This 13-page lawsuit was filed on January 3rd in Harris County, Texas, and the plaintiff in the filing is being represented by none other than Busby's law firm, who filed the suit on his behalf. Now, Jose Maldonado, who is the plaintiff in this suit, is suing Jay-Z's attorneys and his company Rock Nation, but not Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z himself. According to the lawsuit, the defendants in this suit are Marcy Bryan Croft, her law firm MJ Legal, Rock Nation, and the law firm who is representing Jay-Z, Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan. They allege the defendants conspired to obstruct justice by engaging in shadowy operatives to illegally get more than 24 current and former clients of Busby law firm to turn around and sue them. The suit claims Rock Nation is financing this alleged effort, while attorneys Marcy Croft and the law firm Quinn Emanuel are orchestrating this whole thing. According to the suit, the defendants' agents were pretending to work for the state of Texas and allegedly flashed fake badges, which the suit says wasn't very smart or careful, but also illegal. The suit states the defendants' agents offered as much as $10,000 to a former client to sue the Busby law firm, but the so-called agents were allegedly caught on audio tape red-handed. The suit claims attorney Marcy Croft, who is a lawyer but also a member of Team Rock, was orchestrating that whole effort. Then in another recording, those agents were describing in great detail the alleged criminal conspiracy. The suit claims they went so far to admit the lawsuits would be reported in the press, and some former clients already accepted money to join that alleged effort. As I mentioned, Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, isn't named as a defendant in the lawsuit. However, the suit claims Rock Nation and Jay-Z are synonymous, given the mogul is the founder and chairman. The lawsuit acknowledges Busby's law firm filed the rape lawsuit against Jay-Z in New York federal court, and as a result, Jay-Z sued Busby's law firm in Los Angeles state court. But the suit claims while all of that legal back and forth was going on, Jay-Z's attorneys who represent himself and his Rock Nation denied in open court and in the press their involvement in the alleged scheme. Now back to Maldonado's claims. He claims the defendants used him as a pawn. He alleges on behalf of Marcy Croft, 2 people attempted to contact him many times and went so far as to go to what they believed to be Maldonado's home. Instead, they went to his dad's house and allegedly identified themselves as federal officers. After realizing they were at the wrong home, they continued to contact Maldonado, and Maldonado claims they were pushy. Once they got in touch with him, he claims those individuals said they were with the state and they were putting together a lawsuit on behalf of Marcy Croft and the company she worked for. The suit alleges Croft said she would assign Maldonado's case to someone who could get him a lot of money. Instead, Maldonado contacted the Busby law firm, and now they're suing for solicitation and civil conspiracy. In a statement to the Houston Chronicle, Busby said, quote, "The conduct alleged by Mr. Maldonado is illegal and unethical. We know investigators have gone all over the United States illegally contacting our former clients to try to entice them with money to sue our firm. According to Mr. Maldonado, we now know who is behind this effort. We won't be intimidated nor deterred in our important work. I expect more lawsuits will follow as we continue to hear former clients report this egregious conduct," end quote. But Marcy Croft fired back against the allegations, saying the lawsuit reeks of desperation. She also told the Houston Chronicle, quote, "For over 25 years, I've dedicated my career to exposing and dismantling networks of fraud and manipulation. I didn't ask to be a part of this fight, but now that he's dragged me into it, he should know that I'm not someone who backs down. Mr. Busby should be worried. Truth and justice are on my side, and I have every intention of holding him accountable."
According to federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani, this is only the first of many lawsuits about to be filed against celebrities in Hollywood and the music industry. With Diddy now behind bars, hundreds of victims are coming forward, and the names they are providing are shocking.
So that's that. Now, as far as Jay-Z is concerned, this can really go one of 2 ways. This might be an isolated one-off case that he has to defend, or potentially it could be a Me Too type situation where other victims come forward. Obviously, we saw that with Diddy and Cassie Ventura. So the coming days and weeks are really going to be telling. And Tony Busby says he has more than 100, maybe up to 300 victims he's representing. So it's going to be interesting to see if any of them also name Jay-Z.
And Nima, if such a high-profile name like Jay-Z has come out, could more celebrity names be tied to these lawsuits? What do you think we can expect?
No question. This may just be the first celebrity domino, and Jay-Z was unmasked as celebrity A, but let's not forget there's a celebrity B in that same lawsuit that allegedly witnessed the sexual assault, a female celebrity. And there was someone who went on CNN earlier this week and said that his sexual assault was witnessed by another celebrity as well. So I think we're going to see more celebrity names identified very soon.
All right, Nima Rahmani, thank you so much for joining us. As you said, this is one that has entered the court of public opinion. It's nice to have your actual legal advice on it.
They bring in these people. A lot of these people were also aspiring young artists in the music industry. And then these parties were sponsored by Motown Records CEO, Universal Records CEO. This goes all the way to the top. And so you get these people in compromising situations. The drinks were laced, the videotapes were hot, and then at the end of the day, you wake up the next morning, what did I do? And then they have compromising material on you. And then they can guide your career. They could kill your career, but they got you. And it wasn't just people in the music business. As you said, there were athletes, there were celebrities, there were politicians, people from the royal family. And we were also told by the former bodyguard that Diddy was an FBI informant. Whoa. So he was a snitch and was feeding information to the feds. And we don't know what that means. We haven't been able to confirm it, but even Little Rod said it's not just like Epstein, it could be worse than Jeffrey Epstein.
This conspiracy actually goes a lot deeper than just some shady celebrities and music executives. Diddy was friends with ex-presidents and even British royalty. The mayor of New York even gave Diddy the key to the city just a few weeks before his arrest. Mayor Adams knew about the investigation against Diddy, but still endorsed him. Allegedly, this was because of the dirt Diddy had on him.
And once they find the criminal activity in those, they could bring them in. Now, did the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Miami do it? No, they didn't. Did California do it? No, they did not. The Southern District of New York, they took it upon themselves and put on that raid and everything based on the information they found in Cassie lawsuit and the information they found in Little Rod lawsuit. But all this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Cause you know who else they was doing investigation on during that whole time period? It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City. They turn around and give him the key to the city. All the mayor people that he brought on here in New York City are all resigning. They all resigning. People ain't gonna tie this together, but if you look at it, you have to say, because of Mayor Adams and his relationship with Diddy, it brought on the Southern District of New York to start investigating Diddy on civil lawsuits that was put against him. Because the feds is going after all these politicians in New York City.
Yeah, the feds revealed that, anybody that, participated in any, criminal behavior at his freak-offs, they're going to pursue.
Listen here. The mayor here take like 15 spoons of sugar in his coffee. So it's all a possibility.
Do you think there's any celebrities on tapes?
Bro, he gave celebrity parties. So what you think?
With the allegations against Diddy finally piling up and new evidence coming forward, it looks like Diddy might actually have to pay for all his crimes. Diddy's legal team has admitted to the presence of his freak-off tapes. His team claims that these tapes actually prove Diddy's innocence and don't show any violence. In fact, according to them, the victim actually enjoyed her time with Diddy. There are no secret cameras, no orgies, no other celebrities involved, no underground tunnels, no minors, and not so much as a hint of coercion or violence.
In their letter, they write, quote, "Having reviewed these videos, it is now abundantly clear that they confirm Mr. Combs' innocence and that their full exculpatory value cannot be investigated and used unless they are electronically produced. The 9 videos at issue are the so-called freak-off tapes with victim 1 that the government has repeatedly referenced, causing wild speculation in the media. Contrary to what the government has led this court and the public to believe, the so-called freak-offs were private sexual activity between fully consenting adults in a long-term relationship. Like many Americans in the privacy of their own bedrooms, they sometimes filmed their sexual activity. These videos unambiguously show that the person alleged in the indictment to be victim 1 not only consented, but thoroughly enjoyed herself. And we believe, by the way, victim one to be Cassandra Ventura. This is Diddy's ex, who first filed that initial sexual assault lawsuit against Combs back in 2023. She was in that infamous surveillance footage that was published by CNN of an incident that happened in a hotel hallway where Combs is beating Ventura just while wearing a towel. It's a very disturbing video. He argues the videos don't show any orgies or celebrities or violence or coercion or threats or manipulation or evidence of anyone being under the influence of drugs, that this is not sex trafficking. Quote, the premise that freak-offs are inherently dangerous shows that the government seeks to police non-conforming sexual activity and that it assumes, despite all evidence to the contrary, that a woman's willing participation must have been coerced. That's interesting because that's something we've long suspected, that the defense is not going to shy away from the term freak-offs. They might accept, yeah, Combs called these freak-offs, but this was entirely consensual. It was all in the up and up. It might be different to you and me, but there's nothing illegal going on here.
If they're really, if the government is the government in the Southern District of New York, I can't imagine this is what they're hanging their hat on if it's what the defense describes. It's like one of those things that when you have a weakness in a case, the government has to decide how they're going to use that. My guess is they're going to use it to show that there were sex workers, that these sex workers were paid. I would imagine that they have the sex workers that are in the video to come in and describe what was going on or what happened before they went on tape, whether or not they had drugs or alcohol or anything else, whether or not Cassie had drugs or alcohol, whether or not there was a discussion between Sean, Combs, and Cassie before the tape started. So
Right.
I think that the tape is going to be one portion of it, but the testimony of either the sex workers that were in the video and or Cassie is going to kind of tie it together. That's my guess.
All of this has been going on for a very long time. 50 Cent has allegedly been collecting evidence against Diddy and Jay-Z for decades. Talking about the upcoming docuseries titled Diddy Do It, 50 Cent's team said, "This is a story with significant human impact. It is a complex narrative spanning decades, not just the headlines or clips seen so far. We remain steadfast in our commitment to give a voice to the voiceless and to present authentic and nuanced perspectives."
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way you would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it. Just that alone.
So you didn't realize
As much stuff was coming. Like, when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them. And it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things, not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going with, like, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. You know, so I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally is...
Sources close to Diddy have been talking about Diddy's dark connections for years. According to Gene Deal, Diddy recorded compromising footage of everyone at his parties, and that footage is now in FBI custody. If Diddy decides to snitch, some of Hollywood's biggest business empires are going to implode. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York has a 97% conviction rate, and if they're coming after Diddy now, you best believe Diddy isn't getting away.
How many friends he have and nobody came out?
They brand. It's all about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America liked that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies. They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched. And Brother Love was watching.
Yeah, I mean, TD Jakes, he haven't even came out and said anything. And him and Diddy was real cool.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, man. And I know the people in the congregation over there is shaking in their boots because this man then led them probably, allegedly probably led them to damnation, because those people's hearts are gonna be broken if that man is seen on those tapes doing anything. Because people always put their faith in the pastor instead of putting their faith in God. And what they need to do is understand that he's just a man. And he has a history. It's not looking too good for him.
So you feel like celebs are worried that they might be on tape?
Oh, they know. That's why they ain't speaking up or saying nothing. Yeah, I was at a Diddy party, but I know I ain't do nothing. When you don't know somebody's taping you, when you don't know that somebody is videoing you in some kind of form or fashion, you got that alcohol, you got the drugs in you, they're a little loose, bruh. They let down all their inhibitions. The music is pumping. He said it himself. He got it so hot in there that you gotta take your clothes off. He said that himself, bruh.
This story is far from over, and as more victims come forward and evidence surfaces, the web of Hollywood's darkest secrets continues to unravel. From Jim Carrey's shocking revelations to the mounting lawsuits against Diddy, Jay-Z, and others, the entertainment industry is facing a reckoning like never before. What are your thoughts on these revelations? Let us know in the comments below.